Hi, I'm Jean Feldman, and I have been an educator for over 40 years. Many of you might be more familiar with me as Dr. Jean. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you about getting children ready to read. Reading is a very complex act that goes on throughout our lifetime as we continue to learn and grow, and it's not something that you can buy in a package or something that you can put in your video and the kids are going to pick up. Basically, there are two types of language. Receptive language, that's what we take in through listening and through reading. And expressive language, that's what we put out through our voice and through other forms of written communication. So when that baby is born, they are already developing receptive and expressive language. Receptive language, what they hear, all the environmental sounds, and expressive language, that's what they do to let you know that they're hungry or they need a diaper changed or something like that through crying. And you know, I always like to use this little metaphor about learning to speak and learning to write and learning to read. When that little baby first begins to go goo goo gaga, you say, "Isn't that wonderful? I just love you. You're such a smart little baby." You don't say, "That's not the way you talk, little baby. You talk right." You get excited about it and you cherish it and you celebrate it. The same way all along the road with language, we need to get excited when children make that first sound and say that first word. When they scribble, that scribble's going to be writing someday. And when they pick up a book and that blah, 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 that's the beginning of reading, making some of those connections. And I think one of the most important things we have to do as educators and as parents is instill this joy of learning to read. I remember one teacher told me that she tells her parents that every child in her room needs a laptop. 2 is even better. It's not the type of laptop that you plug in. It's the type of laptop that comes with 2 knees, and it's perfect for talking, reading, singing, and playing with your child. The same things children needed 100 years ago or 200 years ago are the same things that they need now to get them ready to read. They need somebody to talk to them and sing to them and read to them and play with them and love them and show them how exciting all this can be. Now, you grown-ups have an important job. You have to model reading. So many children don't see people opening a book and reading it anymore, but just every time you open a book, isn't this fun, isn't this exciting? Or when you get ready to cook something, I better read the recipe so I'll know what's going on. Modeling is a great way. Lap reading, having children sit close with you on your lap and just talking about the pictures. Follow the child's lead. I mean, they might want to look at a book for 30 seconds, and that's fine. And that time will grow when they are able to sit and attend to a story. Another thing that you can do is provide your child with books. Lots of books in print in the home. There isn't any better place to get books than your public library. A public library card should be part of coming home from the hospital with your new baby. That's just something you need to have in hand with you. It's such a valuable resource. Birthdays and other special occasions are the perfect time to give your child books. Another thing that we want to do is point out words in the environment. When people say, "Oh, 2-year-olds can't read," well, you want to make a bet. You ride down the road and they go, "McDonald's, Pizza Hut." That's called logographic reading or environmental print reading. That's when they begin to make those connections in their environment. Children also quickly learn to identify their name. So anything that you can use with their name and pictures to make that connection. One of the most important things that we can do to help children get ready to read is to talk to them. Talk to them and listen to them. And I tell parents all the time, turn it off. Turn off your cell phone. Turn off the CD player in the car. Turn off your video. Just peace and quiet and get down on the floor for 5, 10, 15 minutes a day and follow your child's lead and talk to them and explore that language back and forth. Oral language is the foundation of literacy. If we want them to write a complete sentence, they have to be able to speak a complete sentence. So if you say to your child, "Would you like some more milk?" and they go, you say, "I would like more milk, please," and model the way you would like your child to say the sentence or what you're asking them to do. Another thing we can do to get children ready to read is to do lots of nursery rhymes with them. There's a very strong connection between rhyming and rhythm and alliteration and the whole reading process. So all of those old nursery rhymes, all of those finger plays are going to build up that oral language. And you know, it's language, it's like Legos. If you've ever gotten a set of Legos and you just have a few Legos to play with, you can't build very much. But if you've got all sorts of Legos and all the accessories, you can just build amazing things. The same way with language with children. Every time we use a new vocabulary word, every time we read a story and expand their language, we are just like giving them all these little building pieces that they're going to use throughout their lifetime as they communicate with others. Another thing that you can do is sing with your child. And the great thing about children is they don't know you can't sing. You just make a joyful noise. I tell teachers all the time and parents, we're so busy trying to give children things that we didn't have that we are failing to give them what we did have. Think about your own childhood. Some of the songs you like to sing at school or at camp, sing those songs with your child. Turn off the CD player and the radio in the car and sing with your child. Another thing that we can do to help children get ready to read is to help them learn about letters and sounds. And so just magnetic letters, or you can roll Play-Doh in the shape of letters, and letter cookies, and writing letters on the sidewalk with chalk, and singing alphabet songs. Even though they are not ready to learn those letters and sounds, when you sing those things, it puts a place in the brain. Mary Ann Wolfe, one of the top reading researchers, talks about music acts like a placeholder in the brain. So when it's introduced formally in kindergarten or first grade, all of those letters and sounds are in their brain. It's a wonderful thing to be able to expose children to those things. There's a very special website, naeyc.org. That stands for the National Association for the Education of Young Children. And they have a wonderful paper that you can download free. It's called Learning to Read and Write, Developmentally Appropriate Practices. And it will give you more research and more background on some of the things that you can do to help your child get ready to read. You know, reading is partly from the heart as well as the brain. So one of the most important things you can do is just instill in your child a love of books, a love of learning, and how exciting going to school can be. Happy reading.